What are we actually confident enough to say we know about the Stargate movie that we're hoping Amazon is about to announce? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So we've been talking about Stargate a lot, as you know, and I am always really careful to try and tell you what's rumour, what is maybe going on, and what we actually know. And I'm going to do two videos now to talk about the Stargate movie that I believe Amazon is planning and what I am confident enough to tell you we know about what is going on. And then I'll do a second video to tell you the stuff that we're not so sure about, but that we believe is happening. So first of all, there has been a lot of internal fighting between MGM and Amazon. There really is no cohesion between the top executives at Amazon and MGM. There really is two camps. A lot of executives believe that actually Stargate should return with a series led potentially by Brad Wright, and that is the only way to really be confident that a Stargate revival can work. There is another camp, though, that really want to start off with a movie. Now, this camp is led by Jennifer Salke. The problem is, Jennifer Salke is in charge of MGM and Amazon. So, really, it's her decision that matters. She has been championing a movie since very early on 2022 and basically through the summer. Now, we know that no decision was actually made about whether to do a series or a movie until January this year. That's when the decision was made. Now, we also know that there was a bunch of pitch meetings in last summer, August through September. Amazon put out a request a few months earlier and actually asked companies to come forwards with their ideas on how to revive or reboot the Stargate franchise. Several companies did. We know that Bad Robot did. We know that a couple of other companies did. We actually know that Bad Robot not only put a movie pitch forward, but we actually found out what that movie pitch was. And it basically involved Ra coming back, which is just stupid. But we also know that they didn't win. Now, it does look very strongly like Penguin and Parker was actually the winners. Now, we don't know that for a fact, but I'm including it in this video because what we do know for a fact is for 2 or 3 months following these pitch meetings, Mark Fergus, the head of Penguin and Parker, the guys that did The Expanse, was in negotiations with Amazon about doing the Stargate franchise. He was requested to do a Bible of the Stargate project, something that other companies could use if they weren't successful, to actually then build the franchise around. Basically, a set of rules, a set of do's and don'ts, if you will, for whoever then does do the project. There was then 2 or 3 months of negotiations, but those negotiations ended roughly just before Christmas 2022. Again, we don't know for certain why these negotiations failed, but we do know that one really big irritation that Mark Fergus had was that there was no decision about whether it would be a series or a movie or both, and that this was basically meaning he felt he couldn't move forwards at that time. Now, we don't know what has happened with those negotiations since, but we do know, as I say, that Jennifer Salke did make the decision in January, very early February, that a movie was going to be the direction they were, at very least initially, going to be taking. Now, at that time, Amazon and MGM Movies didn't have a head of film. Now, Jennifer Salke is the head of Amazon Studios and MGM Studios, but she isn't actually in charge of what films are going on. They were in the process of hiring somebody after Pam Abdi left very shortly after the actual acquisition of Amazon was finalized. Now, Claudia Valentini, who is now head of film for MGM and Amazon, was hired in March. And we know that a couple of weeks after she began work, just after she got all the pot plants in place and put a few pictures on the wall, that she was instructed by Jennifer Salke via memo to actually begin the production process for the RoboCop movie and Stargate. Now, that has actually been confirmed by a couple of other insiders, but I know that it happened because basically I have one source that saw the instruction. So we know that that happened. Now, the development stage of any movie can be a very long process. Amazon's plans have obviously been hampered by the strikes, but they have been moving forwards. We know for a fact, again, because of different sources that I speak to, that Amazon and MGM did start informal conversations with a short list of directors. We know that those directors were really the creme de la creme of up and coming sci fi directors. We did have a few names. We've spoken about them in previous videos. Several informal conversations were had with 4 different directors through March and into April. Now, apparently, informally, a director has been chosen, but we don't know for certain who it is. Now, even though I have actually been told who this preferred director is, I don't really want to talk more about that at the moment because basically the sources told me I'm not allowed to. But basically, what he's saying is that the director will not sign up while the strikes are going on. He considers that to be disrespectful for the general strike, and he is choosing not to confirm until the strikes have concluded. I can tell you that this director, who I can't name, as I said, has done sci-fi movies in the past, has actually a rich background in sci-fi, and has a background with MGM, and has links to several of the leading people on the previous Stargate franchise. So they do have a background in this area. They are sci-fi people, but there are downsides for this person that previous movies have perhaps had a bit of an agenda that does concern me slightly. But basically, as long as Amazon very early on tell him, you will do a Stargate movie, not a movie about this agenda, then I don't think it'll have to necessarily be a problem. Now, the final thing that we know for certain is that this was going to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, there have been some rumors knocked around that there was a promo created, etc., but those rumors are not true. Apparently, in March, it was decided that actually they were not going to announce at San Diego Comic-Con as they had previously planned. They were only going to announce the intention to bring Stargate back. They were not going to announce anything else. It was just going to be, apparently, Richard Dean Anderson, Amanda Tappy, a couple of others on stage, and they were basically going to say, Amazon is bringing it back. And that's all they were going to actually announce at the time. Obviously, once the strike started in March, they realized at Amazon that they were pretty confident the actors were going to go on strike as well. And that basically, following advice from a couple of different PR firms, it was decided that it wouldn't be in Amazon's best interest to announce anything major during the strikes. So, as I say, in March, those plans were scrapped. So that is basically why I am confident enough to say we know about what is going on with the Stargate movie. Anything else? I'm only, 50-50 sort of thing on. But the information in this video, I am absolutely dead on certain is actually happened. Now, it doesn't mean that these things won't change. The strikes, unfortunately, have thrown everything up in the air a little bit. But for right now, we can be sure that Amazon are working towards a cinematic movie that a director has at very least, in theory, been signed on. That this was supposed to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con, but will be announced at some point. And finally, something I haven't mentioned up till now, there is a script. Now, that script has been in development for at least 6 months. But again, until a director signs on and a director decides on the direction of the movie, nothing is set in stone. So guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think. Is everything that I've talked about stuff that excites you? Do you think we're moving in the right direction? If it wasn't for these bloody strikes, it would have been actually announced by now. And I would actually love to know, what do you think about it being a movie first? Now, I know a lot of you are not very happy about it. We've talked about it a lot on the channel and a lot on the lives. But now it's sort of sunk in a little bit. Are you changing your minds at all? Actually, does a 2-hour advert for what will then follow that you've had time to, mull it over a little bit? If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to SciTrek.com/ Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos appear first, and you get to see them without the adverts. And for a small contribution each month, you even get a free gift. Also, you can go to SciTrek.co.uk. That is our dedicated website. We do articles based on all of the videos that we do. We try to add a little bit more information for you to consider. Go and check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.